Oh, you're gonna go straight live?
No, I'm gonna get the videos out of the way.
Okay, that's good. Let's go. Welcome, race fans. It's championship race weekend here at Phoenix with our Dixon Smoked Meat Barbecue Truck Series. I'm Gerald Campbell. With me today is David Huckleberry, our lovely commentator and co-producer here with me is going to be Erica Campbell. She'll be joining us in a bit. We wanted to get on here early enough to make sure that we talk to our top 5 competitors going for a championship tonight here at Phoenix. So, again, we got David up in the doing the producing here, showing you these live screens and all the beautiful sights from Phoenix. It's going to be a fun one tonight, folks. Well, it went from 40 drivers down to 14 in 11 races, and then four races to get those top 14 drivers down to 5. Here's your top 5. Scott Crump, Timothy Holmes, Tate Lightle, Sean Ryan, and Ethan Stanley. All these drivers are the lucky few that have made it to the top 5 and will be going for the Elite Truck Series Championship tonight. We're going to be pulling a couple up here. Our first one we'll pull up is Ethan Stanley. His statistics are as stated here. In 15 races, he got 8 top 10s, 7 top 5s, 0 wins, but it can all change tonight. Joining us is Ethan Stanley. Hello, Ethan. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Ethan, this is where it comes down to. This is what the whole season brought you to. You don't have a win just yet, but that could change, and it could change in a big way if you can do it tonight. Tell us your strategy, how many laps you put in around the track to get yourself prepared, and how much that championship would mean to you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't prepared myself too much for this. I did a couple of laps for practice before the actual practice session, but I've just been doing laps around here for the race and just trying to see what kind of pace I have compared to everybody else. Might be a little bit of a long shot, but I feel like maybe if some chaos happens, I can get it done.
Chaos is bound to happen here at Phoenix. You just got to make sure that you're on the right side of it. I've been in those situations here, won a few championships that way here. It is a wild race. Is your strategy just to watch to see what comes of it? Or if you find yourself in the right situation, fight tooth and nail for it at the end?
If I find myself in the right situation, I'll definitely go for it. It's a whole championship on the line. There's a prize on the line too. I feel like it should be a good competition between the guys on the
Absolutely. Well, we very much appreciate you joining us here tonight before the race. Not too often in racing do you get to talk to the competitors and get their mindset before what's going on. But good luck to you out there, Ethan. I can't tell you how much a big deal it is to get a championship in Elite with how hard the competition is out here. We hope for a good race, and hopefully we'll see you up there and get to talk to you before the end of the night.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Ethan Stanley, one of our top 5 competitors tonight. The next driver we're going to go about pulling up, I see him down there, is, I believe it's Scott Crump I see down there. Let me pull him up real quickly. Well, Scott Crump's statistics look as such. He only did 13 of the 15 races, but in those 13 races, he got 6 top 10s, 2 top 5s, but he got that all-inclusive win at Talladega. Or no, not Talladega. It was actually at New Hampshire. Scott Crump, we got you into the booth here tonight. Tell us your strategy, what's going to go into getting you to be a championship and Elite in the Truck Series here. You didn't get to do it last season, even though you were by far one of the strongest competition drivers out there with some of the best results. Tonight, you found yourself finally in the final race with a chance to go for it. Is that just going to give you more motivation? Tell us everything going through for tonight's race.
Yeah, I think tonight I'm going to be looking forward to trying to get out front and stay out front. I think it's going to be tough to pass tonight. There's a lot of short laps, and longest run is 50 laps there on the last stage, so it's just enough to, if we don't have any cautions or anything, to really tires will come into factor, but can't really count on that, so you really got to stay out front. But yeah, try and get a little redemption from last year. Felt like we had one of the best trucks last year. Done all right this year. We got in some wrecks or whatever in some of the races this year, but we managed to run good enough to get in the chase and just keep on chipping along, and here we are in the championship, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it doesn't matter how you got here, as long as you got here. You went from last season where you should have been here with the strongest with the strongest truck, strongest record, and didn't get to, and this season kind of played kind of like how Denny Hamlin's season has gone. He got himself some wins, and as long as you got here, I guess that's all that matters, right, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, really. I think that's what happened last year, wasn't it? He wasn't the strongest guy. He just got hot right there at the end, got into the championship race, and won it. So anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully we'll get to talk to you again, Scott. Hopefully you can go out there, give it to them, show how much you want this, and maybe get some redemption for what you may feel was owed to you last season, and go out and prove a point for tonight.
All right, 10-4. Y'all sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, we will, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this. So, congratulations on making it in top 5. Hopefully, we'll get to talk to you again. That was Scott Crump, everybody. Scott Crump definitely has a chip on his shoulder tonight. Definitely wants to go out and prove a point why he was strong last year. But so far this year, one of the top drivers with just showing how strong he just was is a driver with the least amount of starts out of all of his competition so far this season. But when he showed up to the racetrack, it was all driver. That would be Tate Lightle, 9 starts out of 15, so he missed 6 races. But in those 9 starts, he guaranteed to get a top 10 with 9 top 10s, 7 top 5s, a win or 2 wins, and a pole to his name. He won at Homestead just a few races ago, locked himself here tonight, and now he will be trying to complete the trifecta and win a championship, not only in Cup, but Xfinity, and now is trying to complete it, be the first driver to get all 3 in the Truck Series. Tate Lightle, tell us how much that would mean to be the first driver in Elite to be able to lock down a championship in every series, knowing how tough the competition is.
I mean, it's why I'm running the series. Sunday nights, as you mentioned, I missed a couple races. Isn't the most convenient time of the week for me to be running, but yeah, I wanted to. I know there's a couple other guys that have a chance. I know Chad and Fody have both won 2, so if I could beat those 2 guys out to be the first one to get all 3, it'd mean a lot. It's been a really good season for us, and all series in Elite, and we got a chance tonight, and then we got another chance on Wednesday to go back-to-back in Cup. So hopefully it'll be a good week for us. I feel pretty fast tonight, but I mean, as you know from experience, anything can happen in these championship races, so you can't really take anything for granted. You just got to try and put yourself in the best spot you can and hope that the cards fall your way.
Yeah, you can. There's 100 laps tonight. You can lead 99 laps and still not walk away with the championship. It's going to be a hard press 100 laps. That's going to go by very fast here. What's the strategy? You can't really wait. You can't. I know your strategy in normal races is find yourself in a good position. You're known for your long strategy of saving tires and just being the guy up front. But you know how desperate these other drivers will be. Do you have to push the issue and stay out front if you find it in that position, or is there still 100 laps enough laps there where you can take it?
I mean, I'm just gonna try and start up front and stay there. I know I'm gonna have to be aggressive because I know that all these guys that I'm racing for the championship are always aggressive. So, and I know that, you know, if I'm a 10th ahead of Scott or Timmy or any of these guys on the last lap, I'm probably not going to make it back around. So we've got to try and put ourselves in a good spot and hope that we can control our own destiny. And I think we got as good a shot as anybody. It's going to come down to circumstance, and hopefully those circumstances fall in our direction, like I said.
Absolutely, Tate. Definitely one of the favorites, one of the fastest guy right now in practice, is hoping to see if he can be able to come home with the championship. It's all going to be on track to determine it all. 100 laps will come and go, but a championship will stay forever. So hopefully, Tate, we'll get to talk to you later tonight. You have a couple other championships that you're going for the season too. What other? Did you make it in the Xfinity or Cup?
No, I made it in Cup. I didn't make it in Xfinity. Cup, I probably feel the worst about just because it's Iowa, and Iowa is probably my worst track, at least oval-wise on the sim. So I think we're gonna have our work cut out for us there. I'll probably still run tomorrow night at Nashville and Xfinity. I think I've won 3 races in like 6 or 7 starts, so I want to try and get one more win, add to that total. And then help out the teammates that are in the championship battle. Although there's 3 of them, so I don't really know what I'd be doing to help because can't really pick one or the other. So, and then Erska, we got a 2-week break here, a little summer break for Erska. Elite, I don't know if Elite's broadcasting tomorrow's race or not. I'm not sure how the talks went there, but I know that we have a Firecracker 200 tomorrow night with Erska with the 87 cars at Legacy Daytona. And then in 2 weeks' time, we go to Darlington to start the chase for that. And feeling pretty good in that series. The Xfinity cars always seem to suit my style, so hopefully we can go and give it our best shot there. And I never know. 3 chances. Hopefully we can get at least one of them. Hopefully we can get this one tonight. I feel pretty good about it. So, but shout out to Days Gone By for sponsoring Championship Week, and also me and all 4 series that I just mentioned. And hopefully we can do Brent proud tonight.
Well, that was Tate Lightle, fastest in practice right now, hoping to complete his run for Pro Edge Racing. That's the only drivers I see in the waiting room. Right now, Timmy Holmes is out on track. I'll give you his statistics like I did the other drivers racing for the championship tonight. Timmy Holmes won the overall season, the regular season, and in pretty dominant fashion, and then immediately came into the chase and won at Martinsville to lock himself in at Phoenix. Definitely a driver that maybe not so many knew going into this season, but has shown his dominance at short track. This may not be a short track per se, but it has a lot of short track characteristics. Definitely look for Timmy Holmes to make an impression once again tonight. His statistics were in 15 races. He started in 14 of them, finished top 10 in 10 of those races, so more than any other driver. Top 5. He finished 8 times in the top 5, more than any other driver. And he won 3 races, more than any other driver. And 3 poles, I believe, tied with any other driver. So, to say Timmy Holmes has come into this season and shown his speed is an understatement. He has shown his dominance more than anything. So comes in tonight looking to be a rookie champion, showing that he is ready for the high levels of elite. Look forward to seeing his career progress further into the elite schedule. But the other driver, which I don't see in practice right now, which, David, that's got me a little concerned, is Sean Ryan. I've messed his name up all through the year. I finally can say it correctly, and then the driver doesn't show up so far to the season finale. Hopefully he can find his way in before qualifying starts in just a few minutes, because it would stink that I would finally learn his name in the last few races just for the driver not to show up. Maybe if I would have learned it earlier, he would have felt the love. But hopefully our 5th competitor shows up, which is kind of what makes the night so special, because most drivers and most people that know chase formats in other leagues, tonight has 5 drivers, not 4. There are 5 drivers going against each other for tonight's championship, which just makes it that much difficult, because before you only had 3 other drivers that you would have to worry about. Now you've added another. And the last thing you want to do is start adding drivers that you have to essentially beat to win the championship, because that's how this works in these championship formats. All the points are thrown out the window. It goes down to who wins the race or who is the highest finisher among the other drivers going for the championship. They may not actually win the race, but when it comes down to it, you're taking the best drivers and putting them on the racetrack and telling them to beat the others. It usually comes down to a victory. So real quick, as you see on the scoreboard beside, all the way to the left edge there, drivers that are racing for a championship will be marked in orange. All other drivers are in green tonight. Tate Lightle right now leads practice with 30 seconds left. Well, I'm hyped. I don't know about you, David, but I have been looking forward to this. They put a break in between the last race and this race just to kind of amp it up a little bit, make these drivers put a little time into practicing, make them think about it a little bit more, and I can't wait to see some of the strategy that gets put in tonight's race and how hard these drivers going for a championship will push. Do you have a favorite so far, David, that you're looking forward to, that you might think that has an edge over the others?
I think tonight I'm going to pick Scott Crump. I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after last year, and I think he's always fast. I just think he's going to get out to the front and just stay at the front.
I've got to go. Even though I like Tate Lightle, I've got to go with the guy that has been so dominant this year and has been on the top of the scoreboards for everything.
Hard to go wrong.
I've got to go with Holmes. I've got to go with Timmy Holmes there. He will find a way, even though right now Tate Lightle looks like definitely the fastest driver out of the championship, and practice-wise, we'll learn here while they're doing qualifying who's able to be fastest in just a couple laps. But uh, I think Timmy Holmes just has a way of being able to get short tracks to bend his way and finds the luck to find himself winning these things. So I'm gonna go with the rookie championship for Timmy Holmes tonight. Erica, are you with us yet? I think she's just getting tuned in with us here.
I'm here.
Excellent. Well, we got the whole gang here for the final race. We look forward to being able to broadcast this for everyone. We still do have the Dine and Dash Challenge tonight. The final one, Dine and Dash Challenge tonight, where essentially Erica will come up with a question tonight for the at the end of stage 1. You have the end of stage 2 to go about putting down your answer that she puts she questions to everybody. By the end of stage 2, you have until then to put it down. At the end of the race, we'll find out what's the winner to that question she proposes for everybody. But that is a chance to win. I think it's $20 still, because last week no one won. So yes, it is $20. $20 you can win. Now, all you have to do is just put in an answer that Erica comes up with. So I'm talking to all of you. All you have to do is very simple. Just put some answer down into the chat. So I look forward to seeing anybody that participates in a chance to win some money tonight, maybe some lunch for yourself tomorrow. But right now, qualifying is underway. I'm going to give it over to our lovely Dr. Erica Campbell to give us some of our thank yous for the final time this season for all the wonderful sponsors that help put this together for us.
All right, so starting with Powerhouse Recycling, they strongly believe through our superior customer service, customized recycling, and complete transparency, we can earn our clients' business and hold longevity in our business relationships. And we also have Blue Egg Marketing. We are your marketing department. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. And C2 Freight. Whatever you need to ship, they have access to the necessary equipment, including flatbeds, double drops, vans, tankers, refrigerated equipment, multi-axle heavy haulers, dump trucks, auto carriers, intermodal containers, and more. So definitely appreciate the sponsors making this season happen for us.
I appreciate you, Erica. That was very nice. Once again, she does it so much better than I. You didn't put anything in the chat for me, David, for Days Gone By, but no worries. I know Days Gone By. I have been a customer of Days Gone By Vintage Apparel. They are our race sponsor for tonight, and they have a wide selection of some of the most amazing vintage apparel, diecast sometimes. They have everything, anything that they can find to be able to put up. He's gone through all the junkyard sales to find you some really valuable things that maybe there's a driver from the 80s that maybe you never thought that you would ever be able to get a hat from again. He may have that. I've seen some crazy drivers' hats in there that I've never heard of that I've had to Google to make sure that were actually real, and they were. So he's got all sorts of crazy things that you just won't find ever again. But luckily, with Days Gone By Apparel, they've been bringing them back from the dead just for you to be able to purchase. So go on to Days Gone By. Maybe there's a vintage apparel that you might want to rock. Feel the urge and the need for speed back in the 80s again. And you go by, I think they're on Twitter. They have a website as well. But if you just type into Twitter, Days Gone By, you'll be able to pull up their Twitter information and be able to pull up their store as well. I believe they're on Etsy as well, if I remember correctly. I believe he is on Etsy, so they find themselves on a lot of different platforms. So definitely, as a customer, and I bought posters, a Sam Bass poster, David, signed Sam Bass poster
Nice.
that I've hung up into my room. Oh, I love it. I love it. I had to have it. So definitely some really, really cool things. Qualifying has just wrapped up. back to the race here. Tate Lightle, our championship favorite looking so far, finds himself starting in first. I'm going to give it back over to Erica, and she's going to give you the rundown for tonight's race.
All right, so as Gerald already said, we have Tate Lightle starting on pole, followed by Ethan Birrell second, Dano Martinez third, in fourth, Trey Holmes, rolling off in fifth, Jeff Green, Cody Harrington in sixth, Michael Hossack seventh, eighth, Timmy Holmes, Alex Vandesant ninth, Ethan Stanley 10th, 11th, Zach Evans, 12th, Joshua Personette. Jaden Rasmus, 13th, 14th, Tyler Dixon, 15th, Josh Freed, Mark Keeler rolling off in the 16th position, followed by Scott Haney in 17th, 18th, Ray Bracey, 19th, Sam Bootwell, Casey Hatch in 20th, Michael Goodman 21st, Michael Klein 22nd, Brent Jones 23rd, Scott Crump 24th. And 25th, we have Robert Hill Jr., Harrison Talon 26th, and Dustin Dewar in 27th.
Well, that's our drivers tonight. Dustin Dewar starting all the way in the back. Scott Crump starting way back there. Had an issue for sure for that driver. Not what he probably wanted to go about doing in this stage, and as risky as that will be, all the way back there in 24th position. So Scott Crump will have to work his way up to the front. Sean Ryan did not enter today's race. So unfortunately, Sean Ryan not going to be going for a championship, will automatically finish 5th in the season's finale. And so that leaves us with a normal kind of looking playoff format here. 4 drivers going for a championship. Tate Lightle leading them all with just a blistering lap there. And with his nearest competitor, I believe that's going to be Timmy Holmes back there in 8th. He's got a little bit of breathing room before he has to worry about any other competitors here. But the pace car will be going off. I hope you're excited because I definitely am. Pace car will be off, but it always gets me here, David. The pace car goes off so early, but yet the drivers still have to go so far around before they go green. So I got a little bit too amped there, but you can never be too happy about tonight's race. But yeah, Tate Lightle will be leading us off with his teammate right beside him, Ethan Birrell. This is championship time, fellas. This was what came to do. 16 races down, a championship tonight where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. We are green flag at Phoenix. And Tate Lightle gets out to an early lead with his teammate tucking in right behind him. So Tate Lightle will have clean air in front of him to lead us around 100 laps before we determine our championship tonight. You see a lot of drivers starting to zigzag, trying to find their way. I see Scott Crump 3 wide, all the way back there trying to find his way up there. Tate Lightle's got himself a pretty good gap on board, or good viewing here, already making up some positions already. Is Scott Crump. He's already moved his way up into 20th, so already 4 positions gained in 1 lap. Scott Crump is going to hope to try to gain back up. As we get a spin, Jeff Green and the 24 up into the wall. No one else collected. Oh no, the 44 of Goodman is also around on the, I guess the back straightaway is what it would be called here, right up against the pit road entry there. Looks like Jeff Green might have gotten turned around. I'm going to give it over to David here as he gives us an idea of what went on.
Yeah, it looks like he was really close to the 67 car, but then in the back end, it just kind of went around. Got a little bit of 24, Michael Hossack. Looks like they're going to call it net code with the 38. Let's see what we got with Michael Goodman being involved. Goodman gets hit from behind by the 03, Michael Klein.
2 Do Good Motorsports vehicles involved in that wreck, both of them with pretty good amount of damage. Jeff Green, unfortunately, I think his truck is pretty well toasted there, as that definitely was a hard hit for Jeff Green. Unfortunate for Jeff Green, a driver that makes a once in a while appearance here in the Truck Series. Unfortunate for him, it's going to end or if, at least it's going to be a rough go of it from here on out for Jeff Green. Jeff Green, if you've heard that name before, is a NASCAR driver. Won the Xfinity, as known as now, Xfinity Series, back in 2000, I believe it was. So Jeff Green, yes, if you have heard of him, he was a NASCAR driver before. So he is now an elite driver. And unfortunately for him, elite driver with a lot of damage tonight. Well, that was an early caution. I don't know if that helped Scott Crump, but that one thing it did do for Scott Crump, that put him up to 18th. So he is slowly gaining back up on the field. He's going to have to hope for a little bit more cautions, which he will get because there are stages still in this race. Do you have the stages lined up for us, David?
I do.
Perfect, man. You are on the ball. I always love working with David. He is always prepared here. 100 laps, our stages are a lap 25 and 50. They will be yellow stages, and there are 3 sets of tires. You can almost guarantee drivers will be taking tires at the end of those stages. Yeah, we're going to have it breaking up pretty easily there. There was a choose cone in effect. The drivers have already chose. Looks like Tate Lightle decided to take the bottom again. It looks like the choose cone is going to be right at the flag stand, 1 lap before green. So the drivers lining up in their chosen spot. Tate Lightle will once again lead us here. Pace truck, once again, will have to remember and remind myself that they will not go green immediately. As the pace truck comes in a lot earlier than most tracks here. Well, we'll hope for a little bit cleaner start here, as we got lucky that didn't involve any of our chase drivers. That would have been heartbreaking for any of them, as you would believe. Tate Lightle will be back on the loud pedal once again, going on that lower lane. Wraps around a lot easier. Definitely something to look forward to in the future. Definitely an advantage for the inside, with them being able to essentially cut in earlier than the outside curve. As you have to stay in your line on the restarts. As you see, a lot of drivers starting to mix it up back there with, I believe that's William Harrington, the 66, that Kodak vehicle, going up real high, loses the front nose of it, and will lose a few positions due to that, as he's allowed a few drivers to get past. And we do have another caution, and I am not sure where it's at now.
It's like it's Josh Personette stuck on the fence.
Oh, Personette is, wow. I've never seen that before.
We're going to need a truck for that one.
We need to have, like, surfing music, because that truck is, he is stuck in the wake. He is gone. Looks like he got into the 79 there. And,
we got airborne.
My goodness, netcode. The 24 involved as well. As a couple other drivers also nicked at the end, but
wow,
person that had a bad netcode. That was horrible netcode.
They were close to making contact, but nowhere near what happens here.
No, not at all. Unfortunate for Personette there, as he took out some fencing. He almost took out the flagman himself. You think the flagman would have waved that yellow flag pretty quick, considering that literally a truck was heading right at him. Wow.
So Barney might have dropped the flag on that one. I think I'd have dropped it and ducked.
Yeah, I think. Well, where are you going to go, David?
I guess you're stuck up there in the little thing.
Personette almost took out the cactus on the way out. So, yeah. Luckily, we won't have a situation where we have to wait forever while the the fencing gets fixed. It's virtual, so we'll be going back green here shortly. But yeah, a lot of drivers with a lot of damage there. Once again, luckily, none of our chase drivers as I think this is working out perfectly for Scott Crump. He has been very aggressive on these restarts from 24th essentially to 11th. With only a few laps of green to his name, has been very aggressive on these restarts. Now, just outside the top 10, and now within reaching distance of some of his competitors for tonight. Ethan Stanley starting to work his way up there as well. Started back in 10th. Good shout out to Ethan Stanley, trying to get up there to put pressure on Tate Lightle from 10th all the way up to 4th. So a lot of our competitors showing that they want this badly and are willing to push and shove their way up there. Timmy Holmes, still impressive, 8th to 6th, but compared to his other two competitors that have worked their way up through the field, not nearly as many spots gained. So Ethan Stanley already passed Timothy Holmes on track to find himself in 4th, will now be in the 2nd row to try to take battle for this lead. Again, we will have a stage caution at the end of lap 25, so in 15 laps they will rack it up again. I never got your prediction, Erica. Did you have a driver on track that you feel has a that you have a strong feeling towards winning this championship?
Obviously, all of the drivers who have made it this far have shown a lot of consistency, and I think most, if not all of them, have had some wins. But unfortunately, Gerald, I have to agree with you. I think that Timmy Holmes has a pretty good shot at tonight's race.
I love how she said, unfortunately, she had to agree with you. That's great. I love that.
Oh, that's just a normal conversation.
That's marriage, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that is marriage. Unfortunately, I can't argue with you on this one. Is a very good point to to throw out there, David. Very good job of making sure that was caught on air, and I didn't bring it up most of all. So. But yeah, absolutely. So far, though, he's the 3rd driver in the chase. Maybe he's just trying to save something. Maybe he's just being patient. But we'll see if that short track mentality comes out and he serves his aggression here. Again, not quite a short track, but has a lot of characteristics. So we'll see if he can make that work to his advantage, as he's done so far many times this year. So once again, Tate Lightle will be going green flag once again. He's just hoping it goes green so he can just try to knock these laps down as quick as possible. He knows his competitors are catching up, and the last thing he wants to do is make it easier for them. So green flag will be back in the air. This time, Ethan Earl on the outside was very much sleeping there, as it looks like Trey Holmes finds himself in 2nd now, with splitting up these Pro Edge drivers. Look at that driver starting to look to the outside. That's definitely a chase driver. That is Ethan Stanley. We talked to him earlier. He didn't know what he had tonight. He felt like maybe he would have to find himself in a lucky position. He felt like the underdog maybe here, but he is definitely aggressive right now, looking 3 wide, trying to split the middle. Oh, they come so close to Ethan Burrow. Oh, cuts him off going into turn 1 there. Almost caused a wreck, but luckily enough was far enough ahead. Didn't have anything to worry about, but now we have Tate Lightle out front, and the 92 there finds himself in 3rd, restarted in 4th, so he did gain a spot. Ethan Burrell trying to catch back up from his sleeping position on that restart. Now finds him back out in 2nd and acts as the blockade between him and his teammate, 56. Don't look now, but here comes the 67. Trying to, oh, wow! The 88 almost hit the wall there, and we would have almost had 2 Holmes wreck in 1 turn there, but both Timmy Holmes and Trey Holmes lucky that there was no contact made there, as the 67 finds himself right onto the back bumper of that 88, trying to find himself a way by. And you see that blue car starting to sneak his way in too. He's already into the top 10, and he's in 8th. He just wanted more of a chip on his shoulder, I think. He started in the back and has already found himself in the top 8, looking for 7th on, I believe that's the 33 of Daniel Martinez there in the black onboard shot. To give you an idea, I believe he's probably making a lot of this speed going on into here. He takes a higher lane, which is a lot higher than any other driver. He has a very bizarre lane compared to what we see the norm, and right up against the wall, takes that momentum down the back straightaway. And oh boy, he does dive it in. I saw him dive it in a few times. He doesn't do it in 3 and 4 or 1 and 2, but he definitely has a lot faster speed going into 3 and 4. Very lucky he didn't get back into the back of that 33 and turn him around. It's going to try to see if he can set him up once again, as we have about 8 laps to go before the end of this stage. These drivers are going at it. They're single file right now, but do not think that they are saving anything. It looks like all of them are pushing it really hard, knowing that a stage will be coming up. There is nothing to save right now. There is only going forward in front of them, as the 67 is still trying to find a way past Trey Holmes there in the 88. Well, right now, Tate Lightle has himself a pretty decent gap on his Pro Edge teammate. And he is right now over a half a second in front, as this is so far our longest green flag run of the night. He is showing some very fast pace here. How it will turn out for the end of the race is still undecided. I'm sure once we get some of these other contenders up there running beside him, we'll finally figure out what Tate's true potential is. He still may be saving something. He was nearly a tenth faster qualifying. That's how much faster Tate Lightle felt comfortable around here compared to the rest of the field. So definitely we'll have to see if some of these other drivers, when they find their way up there, are able to figure out how Tate's getting around here and was able to put some competition. As we see the 33 around. I don't know if that was contact between him and Scott Crump, but the 33 around in turn number 2 hit the wall hard with the back end of the truck. I'll give it over to you, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like Crump got into the side of him. Put Martinez into the wall. Back it up a little bit here. As they're battling down in there, there's definite contact right there. It spins Martinez around.
Scott Crump, very lucky that when Daniel Martinez hit the wall, it didn't collect him as well. But Daniel Martinez will have a ton of damage. Even though his chances for a championship are over, he is still trying to battle for position in the final season, trying to get that 6th position over all the other would-be contenders. But unfortunately for Daniel Martinez, he's going to have a lot of rough goings ahead of him, as that truck is pretty well destroyed. Well, we'll hear from race control if this is going to be the final caution. It doesn't look like it is for the stage. So there will still be a couple laps before the end of the stage. And what that did is that set up a lot of our chase contenders to go down pit road now, so that way they can leapfrog the rest of them once the caution does come out for the stage. So Ethan Barrell still stayed out, but Tate Lightle, who's led the entire beginning start of this race, did come down pit road. Out of our contenders, the only driver out of our contenders to stay out on this run was Scott Crump. He finds himself in 3rd and now in front of all the other drivers. Points don't matter, so stage wins do not have any benefit to them for these drivers that are trying to go for a championship. So Tate Lightle decided to come down and preferably be ahead of the majority of drivers once the stage caution comes out. But I'm looking here, we're going to only have like 1 lap of racing before the stage end will be upon us. So I don't know if Scott Crump's decision is what I would have probably picked. I think Tate Lightle may have had the better decision there, just because 1 lap is not going to kill the tires too awfully much. But maybe Scott Crump, deciding that he is better off doing the exact opposite of Tate Lightle, might end up finding him in a favorable position. Hey, who knows? Now Tate Lightle is back there with drivers that he's not raced with. So we've seen contact, and we've seen a lot of wrecking so far this early on. Maybe Scott Crump is hoping that now he's back there, he might end up getting a little bit of damage. So definitely have to watch on this restart. Make sure that Tate Lightle and some of our other competitors that now find themselves deeper in the field get through this 1 lap shootout.
I think if I'm Tate Lightle and when the green flag goes, I just let who's he behind? Scott Haney. I just let Scott Haney go because the caution's going to come out 1 lap later. So.
Yeah, but he can't do that too much, Dave, because right behind him is some of his competitors.
Yeah.
Right behind Scott Haney on that outside there is Ethan Stanley, who's
So
on the
you play
same.
you play a little bit defensive, but you don't worry about passing the 5 cars in front of you. They're going to anyway.
Dave, you make it sound so easy, but I can guarantee you.
I can do that
We're
since I'm
about
not a
to-
driver. I can make it
Yeah,
sound like
absolutely.
it's easy.
You be the best backseat driver that broadcasting's ever had.
That's right.
And I'll tell you the truth. Tate Lightle is not in a position he wants to be in. But he is not in a horrible position because a lot of drivers decide to take the outside lane. And now Tate Lightle finds himself right behind Scott Crump. So he finds himself in the third lane. So not too bad. Scott Haney actually misses a shift over there and really stacks out that outside lane. So Tate Lightle actually going to battle. I don't think he's waiting, Dave. He's going for it now. 3 wide. Tate Lightle all the way to the inside, trying to pass Scott Crump now, not wanting to wait until the end of the stage. And Scott Crump barely clears Trey Holmes there. Scott Crump still out front. Caution out in a wreck in the back. And we will not actually make it to the stage end, as it looks like Dustin Durr and a few other drivers facing backwards in the back straightaway there. So there's the 32 of Dustin Durr. Do Good Motorsports not having a good night. All their drivers involved in a wreck. I was about to say the majority of drivers missed it, but not so. As we
03,
see,
the 08.
Yeah, a lot of those.
Healer and Michael Klein both got into it. Durr just kind of spun on his own, but then he collected a couple people.
And Danny Martinez also involved there. A few drivers. I think Joshua Freed there may have gotten involved.
Have our first tally of the night.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Oh, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. That took out about 5 of our drivers there. None of them are chase drivers still, but this has got to start making some of the chase drivers not feel very safe right now, as we already have destroyed quite a few trucks back there in the field.
I think we had Ethan Burrell was the stage winner officially. Not that it matters, but he was the stage winner.
Pro Edge still trying to make sure that they lead all the laps here. Pro Edge so far still has, with Ethan Burrell leading there at the end of the stage, decides to come down pit road. Will now find himself now deep into the field, along with Scott Crump, our contender, as that was only not even a lap of green. But real quick, before we forget about it, we got to give it over to Erica, because now we have our Dine and Dash Challenge, our last one of the season here. Erica, did you find a question that you want to ask the fans?
I think we'll go rather simple and just ask, in what position will the championship winning driver finish in tonight's race?
Oh boy, smash one real quick. Smash one real quick if you want to win $20, because Tate Lightle looks to want to win this, but that is not guaranteed. That is a very, very good question there, Erica, because I won a championship and I finished like 17th. So,
You don't have to finish first. You just have to finish better than all of the other drivers that you're
That's
competing
true.
against.
That's absolutely true. The championship driver does not necessarily need to finish first to win the championship. Definitely would guarantee a championship if you finish first, but it's not a necessary curriculum for the championship driver is to be tonight's winner. So very good question. So we already got someone guessing on 1. So maybe 2, 3. Just type in a number, because the guesses after 1 is going to be very difficult to decide. Again, you have until the end of stage 2. Just put Fireblaze. First has already been chosen. You're going to have to come up with another number. But yeah, absolutely. Erica's definitely wanting to try to get rid of that $20 here tonight, trying to see if we can have another winner for our Dine Dash Challenge. The pace car will be coming off. You have the end of stage 2 to put down your answer. Right now, Tate Lightle looking very strong. Now finds himself back out front where he feels the safest. He will have a new contender to his outside. It's Tyler Dixon. his teammate and blocker for majority of the beginning of the race. Ethan Burrell finds himself all the way back into 15th, so he will have to defend the lead on his own now. So he will have Tyler Dixon to his outside. Zach Evans having a very good race so far tonight, as well as I got a different scoring, my bad. Alex Vandersame to his outside, and William Harrington behind him in that yellow truck. Green flag is out. Tate Lightle gets himself out to a very decent lead. 3 wide for second. Championship contender Timmy Holmes trying to show his prowess on that bottom as he is now rocketing himself into second place. Clears himself. Going to leave a little bit of room to the outside. Now he clears himself completely of the second place battle. Now we'll put on to the pressure to Tate Lightle. This is what we've been wanting to see, is Tate Lightle holding anything back. He will not have the chance to hold anything because here comes Timothy Holmes to put the pressure on. He's won the most races this season, Timothy Holmes has, but Tate Lightle still has 2 to his name.
I show we
So
had
now
we had an issue that didn't flag the caution, and it involved Scott Crump. Let's see what that was.
Oh no, Scott Crump having issues. We'll go back there. Tate Lightle or Ethan Burrell involved. Oh, Scott Crump has a ton of damage. Turned right in front of the field again.
And this didn't cause a caution.
He never got fully turned around, did he? No, he did.
Yeah.
That is very odd. Unfortunately,
It looks like it started up here with Ethan Burrell and 47. I think the 47 gets the tally.
Sam Batwell, the one that was at fault for that wreck there. As you see, Ethan Burrell was running up front for the majority of this race as well. That's the unfortunate side of being all the way back there. We've seen the wrecks tonight. I warned you, being back there, we've seen how many wrecks have come of being in the back of the pack. And unfortunately for Scott Crump, he was back there for far too long and far too often tonight. And now will find himself with a lot of damage, not out of it, but 24 seconds behind the leader with a ton of damage. And he can see his championship rivals right behind him catching him. And I guarantee you that truck is hurt and losing a lot of time on track. If he even has the engine to finish it tonight, will be a blessing in of itself. So unfortunate for Scott Crump. He came in with a chip on his shoulder and will have to leave with that same chip. Maybe even at this point, a dent at this point, as a chip might be too small of a word for how Scott Crump will feel at the end of this race, as he once again will walk away with no championship win underneath his belt as it runs right now. So Tate Lightle starting to catch up to the lap truck of Scott Crump, with on tow to him Timothy Holmes battling to try to get the win as well as the championship. We're 36 laps in. The next stage in will be at lap 50. All Scott Crump can hope for is that there will be no other driver to go a lap down, so that way he can get the fix needed for that truck desperately. So unfortunately for him, there's not too far in front of him. There's another truck about to go a lap down. That's Ethan Burrell. But he may be able to stay on the lead lap. He's not running as bad as the lap times as Scott Crump. Scott Crump nearly a second off the pace.
You really got to go back to that. That goes back to that decision not to pit right before the stage.
Exactly.
That's really what put Scott Crump back at 18th rather than 5th.
Found himself back there for far too long. He worked his way up through the field into the top 10, and he risked it again to go into the back with strategy. And unfortunately for him, he was not able to find his way back up to the front and be involved in that wreck. That's the unfortunate side of some of these strategies, as it just kind of put him back there where the carnage has been tonight. So it took him and another strong competitor, Ethan Burrell, essentially out of the chance of winning tonight. And that means more to Scott Crump right now than Ethan Burrell's unfortunate mishap as well. Well, we have 3 drivers that are still with a lot of speed and a lot of chance at winning this championship. They find themselves 1, 2, 3, and that's where they run at points right now. 1, 2, 3. That's Tate Lightle, Timothy Holmes and Ethan Stanley. As you see Scott Crump coming down pit road, he may be calling it done for the night, as that truck may just have too much damage to continue on. But back up to the front, 3 competitors. This is showing you that winning may be what it takes to win this championship, as our 3 championship contenders still in the race find themselves 1, 2, 3 on track. See Ethan Stanley there, came really close to the outside wall, trying to put a little bit of distance on him, himself between him and Alex Vandersand right behind him. So battle for third right there as Ethan Stanley is going to try to see if he can catch up to his 2 other contenders in front of him for that championship. Good battling so far in this race. We've seen a lot of wrecks, but we've seen a lot of hard driving from these drivers as well. As right back there in 10th place has been a dogfight back there, as we got drivers up against the wall back there as well. So drivers like Harrison Talon, Daniel Martinez battling really hard. They were 3 wide for a minute there, as you see Harrison Talon taking that all the way down to the dog leg there on the bottom, trying to find the lowest and the quickest lane through there to make up any kind of positions from this big battle he's having. Good run for Ray Bracey. I know there's always some Ray Bracey's fans out there. Finds himself in the top 10 in 9th right there, racing with his team owner of Zach Evans. So good racing there for Wally Racing, as they find themselves right now in 8th and 9th position in the field. So we will be coming to 7 laps left in the stage. You have 7 laps to put down an answer as to where will our championship winner be positioned at the end of the race. Doesn't necessarily mean that they win, though right now with our championship contenders being 1, 2, 3, a win is almost a guarantee to get it as they stand right now. We've already got first picked, we've got second picked, third picked, and fourth picked. So you're ultimately gonna have to pick from 5th on back if you think. Now remember, I won a championship, David. Oh, there is a caution on track there.
Cody Harrington involved.
Oh, Cody Harrington. He was having a very good run tonight. Up in the top 10 for the majority of the race there, as he got into it with Daniel Martinez going in turn 3.
Yeah, Martinez got him in the left rear. Kind of tried to collect it, but then he goes back around and gets up into the outside fence.
Ray Bracey is very, very thankful that the 66 turned it the other direction, because that would have just ruined Ray Bracey's race right there if the 66 continued to go down. Now, this is going to shake things up once again, David. This will not be the end of the stage. There will still be a couple laps to the end of the stage.
They're going to go ahead and call the stage.
Are they? Because
yeah.
They just said they weren't. All right, never mind.
Yeah, they changed their mind and said they didn't think they'd be able to get one lap in.
Oh, they like to take the fun away. I was hoping we could see a replay of what happened last time, where we put some of our championship guys back there, try to race their way back up to the front. But Tate Lightle will lead them down pit road. You're on board with him. Very smooth stop. Just wants to be able to make sure he has a clear exit to get back out in front of this. They will call that incident with the 33 and Cody Harrington a racing deal, so no fault to either driver, no tally. So Tate Lightle will lead them off pit road as they came in. This is the way they came out. So Tate Lightle out front, and right behind him is Timothy Holmes and Ethan Stanley third. So our 3 championship contenders still in this race. Scott Crump has been marked out of the race. He's 8 laps down. He will not be going for a championship. He will finish 4th this year in points, which is still better than what he finished last year, but will not be any consolation for him for sure, as he will unfortunately not have a chance to go for a championship. So now our 3 remaining championship contenders find themselves battling against each other for a win. and a chance for a championship in the Elite Series. Well, I would love to hear from the chat. We've already picked our drivers, or picked our positions where the championship winner will come from. I want to hear from the chat. Who do they think out of these 3 drivers that are left that is shooing for the victory? It is starting to. Your pick, David, went out the window. I'll let you choose again.
I know.
Maybe the drivers don't want you to choose again. But I would love to hear who in the chat, who they pulling for the championship tonight. I want to know who the fan favorite so far going into this is looking like. I know there's a lot of Timmy Holmes fans, and there's a lot of Tate Lightle fans. A lot of those coming from his competitors in other series. Ethan Stanley, decent driver out there going for it. He says he's the underdog trying to prove something. Maybe you're pulling for the underdog. Hasn't had a win this season. Maybe Ethan Stanley is able to get it done. Gets it past these 2 drivers in front of him. Gets the win that he was looking for, and also championship to boot. So definitely give us an idea of who Tyler Fody. Anybody but Tate. I think Tyler Fody just doesn't want Tate to win the championship tonight, so that way he can go for championship in every series. Tate Lightle trying to get it days before anyone else can be able to attempt it. So I think Tyler Fody has different motives going into his shout out there.
That's a valid reason. I give him that.
Drake is a Stanley fan. We got someone pulling for a Stanley fan out there. So awesome. Love to hear it. I love to hear all these different people rooting for their drivers. That means they're invested into this. I've been invested into this. This has been a wonderful season. We get to continue to do it. 50 laps left to go. This may be green flag to the end, or it may set up for more cautions. We'll find out here. There's no more stages, so this may be it. If you're going to battle for a championship, it may come down to this, and we'll say that every time they have a restart. Right now, it looks like Tate Lightle almost left that outside lane open. Looking to the inside now. It's Timothy Holmes inside of Tate Lightle going into 3. First time Tate Lightle's had anyone battling him. A little loose coming out of 4 there is opening the door more for that 67 to try to inch his way up to the front. Little by little, it looks like he has cleared him. Is there going to be a crossover? Tate Lightle looking to the inside now. He is into the inside of the 67. Down the back straightaway, Tate Lightle looking to take the lead once again. I'm not sure. I believe Tate Lightle led that lap. A crossover for a second time. Tate Lightle tries to put a block. A little bit of a bump there in the dog leg. Not happy about it. The 67 dives it back in underneath the 56. Not wanting to let him get his distance that he's had. A little bit of contact. Allow the 56 to slide up once again. Here comes Ethan Stanley looking to try to make it 3 wide, trying to get the lead from both of them. Right now, hard battling. They know this might be the determining factor. They know how hard it is to pass, and they want to be the driver in front right now. Right now, out front has taken the lead, and now leader Timothy Holmes, the only other driver that's not a pro-ed, to lead the race going into it. Tate Lightle still battling, trying to hold back the 92. Ethan Stanley trying to get around Tate Lightle. Tate Lightle looked like he had it in the bag, led every lap almost that he was out front, and now finds himself in second, trying to hold off the third place driver, Ethan Stanley. Very quickly things have changed up, and now we find our short track ringer, our short track champion, our regular season champion, and leader of most categories, Timothy Holmes, out front. It's getting spicy out there, David. I can feel it. I can feel the necessity to have the speed, to have the runs. I know it. They've got to start feeling the sweat trickle down their backs as they're putting everything they have into it tonight. I have a feeling, David, this is going to be a battle all the way to the end between these 3 drivers.
They're racing like it's lap 95, not 55.
Oh, it don't matter. It goes by so quickly. They have to do it. Erica, do you feel the excitement going on right now?
Definitely, and I agree with Dave about how they're racing, but you also mentioned that it's a very difficult track to pass. So I guess in part that explains why they would be racing this hard at this point in the race.
Absolutely. It's easier to pass on the restarts because you're all bunched up. You have the freshest tires. The time to make a move is thin, but it's not over. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's no way to get back up to the front for Tate Lightle. Tate Lightle already starting to put the pressure back onto the 67. Had the speed in qualifying, had the speed in practice, had the speed all night, trying to show he has the speed once again, trying to find his way back up to the front to see if he can battle with the 67. Ethan Stanley still in third, losing a little bit of a touch between him and those drivers, but he's not out of it by no means. All it takes is for those two front drivers to race side by side, and he will be back on them as well. As you see, Tate Lightle now only within a truck length behind the 67. 67, known for his short track prowess, will know how to hold off Tate Lightle. Tate Lightle, with his many years in iRacing experience, many years of racing in these playoff formats, knows how to get it done, has won championships in other divisions in Elite, has been in this position, and is trying to show that he knows how to get it done and get back around the 67 here tonight. Well, we will be coming down to 40 laps to go. I'm not sure of the fuel strategy, David. I'm not sure if they can make it all the way to the end. That's another thing we have to keep an eye on. It's 50 laps. I'm almost 95% positive that they can make it on fuel, but it's not a guarantee, so we will definitely have to keep an eye on that. And look who is coming back up to the front there. Jeff Green, involved in the very first wreck of the night, now finds himself in 6th position. I called him done for the night. I called him out of the race, and he now finds that Do Good Motorsports truck. He finds it in 6th place, trying to get these positions from the rest. As he just now went around Harrison Talon, now trying to see if he can catch up to Daniel Martinez, another driver that's been involved in multiple wrecks tonight, now finds himself in the top 5. I thought Rex would be the end-all be-all for these drivers if they got it. And here they are all in the top 10 still racing. So these trucks, showing why they're one of the best vehicles on iRacing, can take a hit and keep on going. And that's just what we love to see. Now Tate Lightle up front is behind a driver. He has not been in that position much tonight. He now has to figure out a way to be able to get around the 67. And the 67 has a total of 38 laps to be perfect in front of a very, very good driver that's good on long runs. I can't tell you how difficult this will be for that 67 to keep Tate Lightle out of the lead for that entire time. It's going to be very hard because Tate Lightle, other than when he spins me out, is usually perfect in most instances. He's taken me out a couple times this year, but so far he's been pretty clean in the truck series. I'm not throwing shade at people. I'm pointing out the obvious here. It's happened a few times. I think he wants a rival, but I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to take the high. He now looks to the inside of the 67. He might have the run. Looks like, the 67 got a little bit of contact. He's going to slide up the racetrack. Tate Lighttle's now going to take it. Is the 67 going to retaliate and put the bumper back to Tate Lightle? Tate Lightle finds himself back out front, but the 67's right to his back bumper. And is he going to repair it? He's right on the back bumper. It won't take much to show him. He's displeased. But no, Tate Lightle is able to pull away just a little bit there. Very lucky that Timothy Holmes did not turn around there. Tate Lightle had the nose. Timothy Holmes didn't think he was going to take it until it was almost too late. Very lucky instances there for the 67 not to be turned around, as that would have definitely changed the whole projection of this race if that would have happened. But now, Tate Lightle, I told you how difficult it was going to be. Tate Lightle now finds himself out front of this thing with a few car length lead and is going to start to try to pull away here. Again, if there is no caution, this will be the race finish. This will be where it determines that. So we still have no idea if there's going to be a caution. There is still a total of 19 trucks on the lead lap, so there is still a good chance for a caution. As you've seen how difficult it's been here to drive and how easy it has been to make contact. We've seen a few netcode incidents this night as well, so we'll just have to keep an eye out. Another driver there, Goodman, having a very good night in 11th, trying to track down Ray Bracey for that 10th place. Goodman involved in the wreck earlier on. Dixon there, we saw him in person that make big contact, finds himself in 8th. I don't know, David. It looks like it doesn't really matter if you got a wreck. I think Scott Crump should have stayed out there. I'm looking at some of these other trucks, and even though he was about a second off, I think these other trucks got repaired, and they're back out there with plenty of speed still. Scott Crump there showing he's done. He's 30 laps down at the moment. So Scott Crump called it into his night. Tate Lightle starting to pull away now. Has himself over a half a second lead, 6/10 of a lead right now, trying to gap it. Out front is where he's been for the majority of this race. Lost it a little bit there. He's gonna hope that there's not gonna be a late race caution that sets up a short run, because his short run speed is where these drivers seem to have even playing ground with Tate Lightle. These long runs, he starts to distance himself out from them. But on the short run, it seems that's the time to pounce on Tate Lightle. So a lot of these drivers are going to hope that maybe there's a caution near the end of this thing. Another good run there for Zach Evans, trying to find himself a way around Harrison Talon. That would be a battle for 7th. So Zach Evans and Wally Racing, both of their drivers having a very good run for themselves. A very rough year for a lot of their races. We've seen them upside down, we've seen them around, and we've seen them in all different positions except for up front. And right now, they are trying to at least finish off the season on a high note for Wally Racing. These two trucks have been battling the entire night. 92 and 97 have been nose to tail and with similar speed but completely different driving lines the entire night. Alex Van der Zandt and Ethan Stanley. Both of them having very good runs, and both of them started 9th and 10th, so they've worked their way through the field together. They've raced the entire race together. Ethan Stanley's hoping that he can put a couple trucks in between him and the 97 before the night's end, just so he can get that championship. But right now, in 3rd and 4th between those two drivers. And back up front here, Timothy Holmes lost some time to Tate Lightle, but has slowly but surely started to cut back into Tate Lytle's lead. You see here, started losing some time a lot to Tate Lightle, and now all of a sudden has, in the last few laps, ticked off actually faster laps than Tate Lightle. Not by a lot, but enough to where Tate Lightle is going to have to look back in his mirror once again before the night's end. Well, folks, we come down to 26 laps to go. Ethan Burrell gets out of the way for his Pro Edge teammate and his competitor. So now there will be only one Pro Edge driver out on the lead lap right now. And in a pretty good position for being on the lead lap. Out front, Pro Edge driver Tate Lightle is still kind of keeping tow, running about the same lap times as Timmy Holmes. So maybe Tate Lightle decided to pick it back up once again, as now it's gone the other way, where Tate Lytle's picked up a few tenths here and there. So to say these two drivers are going 100%, they are absolutely going 100% right now. Well, we're going to give you a brief rundown of our top 10 drivers right now. Tate Lightle, championship contender out front. Timothy Holmes, second. Ethan Stanley is back there, third. Alex Vandersant right behind Ethan Stanley is fourth. And then we have Jeff Green. Finds himself now back into fifth place after his ordeal tonight, as well as Danny Martinez. I've been in a few of them. Finds himself in sixth. Harrison Talon having a quiet night, just doing what he needs to. Comes here in seventh right now as a battle starting to shape up there for eighth. As Zach Evans is right now in front of Tyler Dixon. Dixon trying to see if he can pick off a few spots after having some damage in the early part of the race as well. And then here comes another Wally Racing driver in 10th place. That's our top 10 drivers. They've spaced themselves out between them and the rest of the field just by a little bit. Goodman back there in 11th, about a second and a half back from the top 10. So top 10 drivers starting to pull away from the rest of the field here. Well, it's gone back the other way again, David. Timothy Holmes starting to catch back up to Tate Lightle. Last few laps has now nicked it back in his direction. I feel like this is going to be a tug of war between the two drivers. They want to save tires, they want to save their stuff, but they know that they don't, Tate Lightle doesn't want him too close, and Timothy Holmes doesn't want him too far away. I feel like they're just going to keep staying in this little center section. That time around, Tate Lightle was fast. So far, our longest green flag run of the night by far. As here they come to 20 laps to go. That's 30 down, 20 to go. So there's already 30 laps down on these tires for these drivers. And green flag since the end of stage 2. We'll find out if it's going to be green flag all the way to the end. Some great shots there from some of our drivers. Let's do a little onboard shot of Timothy Holmes. How about it, Dave?
Got it.
That is the distance between Glory and the guy that finished in second, Dave. And even though it doesn't seem that far away, it is stomach-wrenching that there's even any distance between you and the possibility of a championship. You spent 15 weekends working on the chance to win a championship. 15 weekends you spent 3 hours away from family, away from other activities, to come out here to be the best driver in the Elite Truck Series. And it comes down to 18 laps, and I can't tell you the feeling of being in second. Just seeing the driver that you need to beat right in front of you, and you know you're pushing it as hard as you can, and the gap stays the same lap after lap. So what Timothy Holmes has to do in this position right here is to get that all out of his head. He has to be perfect. He has to be able to find a way to gain that gap. Do whatever it takes to have to be there, but don't try to do it all on one lap, or that is how you lose a championship in that situation. So he has now come into 16 laps to try to gain back about 8/10 of a second lead that Tate Lightle has gained. But then again, caution comes out. We'll have all 3 of our championship drivers within reaching distance of that championship. Well, I hope everyone is watching and having a good time. We sure did here in the Elite Truck Series. David, Erica, and I can't be happier with the season that we've had, and we thank you all so much for tuning in to be able to watch. It has been so much fun watching these drivers going in and out of all these different types of tracks and doing an amazing job of conquering them all. And we're so happy. And David's going to be back next year. I am looking to be back next year. As you see, a battle here for third now finally starting to take shape here, as it looks like finally, Alex Van Sant is going to try to find a way past Ethan Stanley. Not yet. Not yet. They are still side by side. Ethan Stanley not wanting to give it up in case of a late race caution. He was going to fight to try to make sure he's in striking distance in that third position. But absolutely love everyone for tuning in. Thank you for Erica for joining me. She was way out of her comfort zone when she joined us tonight and joined us for this season. And I don't know, Dave. I thought she did a wonderful job for
Absolutely.
we had her on.
Does a great job. And takes care of the baby at times, too. That's the big part
And-
a lot of the time.
And takes care of the baby. at
And
home,
tolerates
so-
you. That cannot go without saying.
Well, you see how much I talk, so yeah, it's hard to get a word in there.
I've sometimes
Right.
wondered if it wears you out and then, like, the rest of the evening you guys just sit quietly.
Yes, we both talk for a living, so we don't talk.
I run an auto body shop where I have to talk to customers, and she's a psychiatrist, so yeah, we talk to a lot of people. So we're used to talking, Dave. So kind of, I guess it kind of made this easier on us. I never really felt the pressure, but it makes it easier when we got our great producer like you, David.
Yeah, and I'm definitely back for next time around. Chad asked me what I wanted to do for the 2022B season, and trucks was something I wasn't willing to give up. I just enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Love working with you
yeah.
guys. I love the action.
Well, we do too, and I hope all the fans do as well. As here we come, we're going to be coming to 10 laps to go. Tate Lightle still out front, trying to do everything correct tonight. Timothy Holmes, oh so close, still right on the verge. Our third place driver has, oh wow, back there, Timothy Holmes almost got into dust and dirt coming out of turn 4 there. That lost a lot of time for Timothy Holmes as he drives it in. You see how deep he drove it into turn 1, trying to gain back the time he just lost on the 32 as they were lapping him. So unfortunate for Timmy Holmes, is now going to have to try to gain back even more time than he was trying to earlier. But here they come to 9 laps to go. What I was saying was our third place driver, to give you an idea how hard Timothy Holmes and Tate Lightle have been driving, there is a 5.5 second difference between them and third place driver. So they have taken off from the field. So absolutely these two drivers are giving everything they can to try to win this championship, as here they come to 8 laps to go. Tate Lightle coming around turns 1 and 2. You see Timothy Holmes trying everything now. He is way up the racetrack. Oh, Tate Lightle tapped the wall there coming out of turn 2. I don't know if you saw that, Dave. I saw a lot of sparks as Tate Lightle might have gotten his fender up against the wall, pushing it so hard there. And that time around, not a big time difference, so it may not hurt Tate Lightle as much, but Tate Lightle has now started to go up the racetrack as well as Timothy Holmes. Maybe mirror driving, seeing that Timothy Holmes that has been gaining and working that high lane in turns 1 and 2. They are still on the very bottom in 3 and 4, but running that high lane in 1 and 2 seems to be now how these old tires prefer it, as here they come to 6 laps to go. Tate Lightle has to be careful there. Tried a line maybe he wasn't too comfortable with and got a little bit of the wall because of it. So now he's back down on the bottom as decided to leave it for Timothy Holmes to have. If Timothy Holmes wants to run the high side, Tate Lightle is not going to deny him. Here they come to 5 laps to go. I didn't calculate all the laps that we've done, but I would have to guess it's well over 1,000. I would say probably close to 1,500 the laps that we would have done this season so far. Wouldn't you agree, Dave?
Sounds about right.
1,500 laps comes down to 5 laps for a championship. It's always the most exciting, gut-wrenching of times for these drivers. And here we go for Tate Lightle, coming up on some lap traffic, not what he wants to see in front of him, but Timothy Holmes is throwing into these turns, hoping that he can just Wow, Tate Lightle
Tate got in the wall again.
Again, Tate Lightle got into the wall. He is pushing really hard. He really does not want to let that 67 even have a shot at him into the last turn. He wants to make sure that there is no way that the 67 can even have a dive bombing chance on him. Tate Lightle is pushing him every lap. He's going to catch the 3 at him. A little bit of a rough time there, as he had to go a little bit lower than he probably would have wanted in turns 1 and 2. That allowed the 67 to once again catch up a little bit, but 67 overdrove the turn quite a bit there. Now 67 lost 3/10 because of that. He's going to try to see if he can catch it back up, but he only has 2 laps to do it. Tate Lightle cannot risk hitting the wall again. He's hit it twice now. Now up to a 7-second lead over Alex Vandersant, who is taking over 3rd place from Ethan Stanley. Jeff Green now going to battle with Ethan Stanley for 4th. As here we come, down to 1 lap to go. Tate Lightle leads it. The 67 of Timothy Holmes is 7/10 behind Tate Lightle and is overdrove the turn there, almost hit the wall. Tate Lightle coming out of turns 1 and 2. He is trying to do what no other driver has done in Elite, and that is win in all 3 series. And he is coming around 3 and 4, will do it. He will be the driver to win the Scott Dixon Smoke Meat Truck Series and a 3 different series winner in Elite. Our championship winner, Tate Lightle for Pro Edge Racing. He wanted it more than any other there. He drove harder than any other there. He was perfect than any other there. And when it came down to it, he even put the bumper to make sure he was there to win it. As he got around all the way back about 30 laps ago around Timothy Holmes, he gave him a little bit of a tap, and that sent Timothy Holmes up the racetrack. And that's all Tate Lightle needed to be able to win the race tonight. And you have to go back and look at that due to the fact that there was no cautions, and Timothy Holmes was never more than maybe 6 or 8 tenths behind him. I would have to think that if he was not able to get around him then, that maybe roles would have been reversed here. But nonetheless, Tate Lightle able to get it done here tonight at Phoenix and comes home not only the race winner, but your 2022 Scott Dixon's Truck Series
There's
champion.
your pass for the win if you want to see it.
Right there.
Gives him that little
Or
bump.
not Scott Dixon. Sorry. Dixon Smoke Meat Barbecue Truck Series champion. Tate Lightle gave him a little bit of bump going into turn 3 and 4 there. Just enough to be able to get his way by. And is able to get the victory here tonight because of it. I had a feeling, Dave, that that was an important move there. I said it all along that that there may not be a caution. We saw cautions all through the race, and that may have set their mindsets to it might be a short-term run. But Tate Lightle is not a short-term run driver. He is a long-run driver, and that's what it came to tonight. He may have been evened up on these drivers on the short run, but the long run is what came down to it for these for this championship. And there's no better long run driver in the league than Tate Lightle. Well, I am exhausted, sweaty, everything you can be, and Tate Lightle destroys the truck for the fun of it, making sure that they can't post race them for anything there. Can't check the engine if it's blown.
That's right.
But let's see if we can bring up our 3rd place driver, or let's actually bring up Ethan Stanley, our 4th place driver tonight and our 3rd for the championship. Let's bring up Ethan Stanley. Ethan Stanley, you came home tonight 4th, but 3rd in the championship. You felt like maybe you might have been like more of the underdog in the situation there, but you had the speed there on the short runs, and you had a couple looks for the champion or for the lead, which would have been for the championship there. What if it came down to a restart? Do you feel like that's what you needed to try to get the championship there at the end?
I feel like if we had a restart right at the end there, I definitely could have had a chance. I was really good on the short run, really got a lot of rotation out of it. But on the long run, I just melted off the front tires, and that was pretty much it. Just trying to keep my spot.
Well, you can't. I know it may be disappointing that you didn't get the championship, but you gave it a heck of a run, and you went up against some very hard hitters there. Tate Lightle, who's a multiple championship in the league, very, very, very strong driver, and you went up against Timothy Holmes, who's shown his dominance all through this season. You came in tonight with 0 victories. People may have rode you off, but we saw you multiple times in this race. How fast you came up through the field, how dedicated you were to try to get the lead there, and how hard you were battling for third place over Alex Van der Zandt. You came home fourth, but overall, other than losing the championship, are you pretty satisfied that you feel like you got your name out there? That even though you're a rookie driver, you showed that you were a true competitor.
Yeah, I feel like I really, showed my skill out there this whole season. Ran pretty consistent. I think we're at 8 top fives or something like that at this point. Just trying to stay consistent and clean, and put a good name out there for myself.
Well, Ethan, congratulations for at least finishing third in the championship. Even making it into the final 5 is a very big accomplishment. And hopefully, we'll get to see you maybe in other elite races where we can see you in the final 5. I can only tell you this: it gets harder from here if you progress. Hopefully, though, you can take your speed and your consistency, and we can maybe see you more often into these championship races.
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, I'll be back next season for the Grand National Series and the Truck Series. Um, Gonna be running IndyCar as well, and of course the F1, which I already do. And yeah, just hope to get back in the final race and maybe fight for another championship. Hopefully, get a win along the way. Get really close at road courses, but just didn't have it. But I feel like I could definitely get it done next season.
Well, we want to let you do your shout outs and your thank yous, and I'm sure you have a few that got helps you get here for the championship run tonight.
Yeah, thanks to all my sponsors, 3 Chi, Killer Jerky, Glitch Energy, and of course, Esports Furniture, and my team, Quantum Esports. Um, and thanks to all the series sponsors, Dixon Smoke Meats, and thanks to you guys for making it all happen, broadcasting it.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Ethan. That was your third place championship driver here. Fourth place of the night, Ethan Stanley.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, real quickly before we bring anyone else in, I'm going to let Erica do her our final one of the night. Our shout outs to our sponsors that helped put this all together, allowed David, me, and Erica here to be able to do this and be able to put on a broadcast that showcases the hard fought championship that we just saw. Real quickly, Erica, do you want to go ahead and do our shout out for us?
So, just want to remind everyone, C2 Freight also offers electronic data interchange or EDI services, which allows shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about EDI services or to discuss your needs for other specialized services, please contact C2 Freight. And Blue Egg Marketing, again, helps businesses punch above their weight class. And Powerhouse Recycling strives to offer the highest level of customer service in the industry for each load process, time and time again.
Well, real quickly, I'm going to let you, Erica, bring in Alex Van der Zandt, not our championship driver, but I'll let Erica interview him for his third place effort for tonight.
Hello, Alex. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your third place finish. You were kind of sandwiched in between the different chase drivers here. How did that feel to be kind of up front and in that position?
Yeah, it was good. I hadn't really figured out this track in a stock car before, so didn't really know what to expect coming into the night. Just wanted to, not interfere too much with the championship race here, and yeah, I think I succeeded at that. So first of all, congrats to Tate on the championship. I wasn't running full time, but it was always fun racing with him. And then congrats, and thanks to Ethan Stanley too for a fantastic battle there at the end. Sorry, it didn't work out for him or Timmy, but it was a lot of fun in that last run, just going for it there.
Well, that's what it's about. I'm glad that you had a fun time and a strong finish. Any shout outs you'd like to do tonight?
Yeah, as always, big thanks to the guys at Do Good Motorsport. Disappointed we couldn't get Dusty into the Championship 5 here for the final race, but he put it on a fantastic season, fantastic effort all year. So, looking forward to another good season, 2022B, and should hopefully be part of that 5 at the end there.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us and have a good night.
Thanks.
Well, we did have a winner for our Dining Dash Challenge, Caleb Hall. Caleb Hall, if you can, just go ahead and message us on Twitter, either Elite or myself, Gerald Campbell, and we'll make sure to get you over your $20 as you are the tonight's Dining Dash Challenge. But with us tonight also, who kept Tate Lightle honest all the way to the end. He was our regular season champion. He led every category coming in tonight. Unfortunately, came up short just a little bit to Tate Lightle, and that has nothing to do with how hard he drew. He drove that truck there at the end. 50-lap green flag run set that up. Timmy, do you feel like that was a benefit to you, that 50-lap run, or were you more keen to having a shorter run there to try to see if you could get Tate Lightle?
Honestly, I probably needed about a 5-lap run because whenever we started shifting, I wasn't as good as him. Like, pace-wise, he had a lot more pace whenever we started shifting, but yeah, like I said, I think I needed like a really short run to be able to win it, but I think I had something for him, and whenever we were battling for the lead right there on the short run, we got into each other's doors a little bit, and I don't know if he thought that was my fault, but I went back and watched it. I definitely don't think that was my fault, and I don't know if he meant to get into me when he got back to me, but after that, I don't know if that little slide hurt the rears that much, or just me shifting and getting back to the gas did, but I just didn't have any rear tires on it at the end, enough to run him back down.
Well, you definitely were able to stay close to him. Ultimately, that bump and run that he had accomplished on you, it was the deciding factor of the race. If it didn't come to that, do you feel like, with how difficult it was to pass, if it didn't come down to a bump and run, was there any way that you're going to be able to be passed at tonight, or do you feel like there was still a lot of racing room on the racetrack that could have been accomplished?
I mean, I feel like he was fast enough to get around me, like, clean, I guess you would say. Well, I'm fine with him bumping me out the way, but I went back and looked at it, and he wasn't even there and hit me in the left rear, which I'm not complaining. I still finished second. Like, he won the race, but it would have been a lot more different, I think, if he'd just hit me square in the bumper, but when he hit me in the left rear, it just totally turned it sideways, and I didn't really have much to do about that.
Well, you came home tonight second in the championship. I have a feeling if you are still driving with an Elite, we're going to see you in some capacity go forward again. Do you feel like this entry level with Truck Series kind of got your foot into the door kind of a situation? Has it hooked you any with Elite? Do you feel like the types of drivers that you've seen here, you want to experience more for some other series? Maybe go for an Xfinity Championship, maybe a Cup here or there?
Well, if I would have won tonight, my answer might have been different, but since I didn't win, I'll probably definitely be back to try to win one.
All right. Well, we enjoyed your racing all through the season. You were, as I had said many of times, the short track champion, as you had won on almost every short track that we had went to. Tonight wasn't necessarily a short track, but it was kind of close. It's had some characteristics. I feel like maybe if we went to a shorter track, I think it would have been in your wheelhouse. But overall, you had a very, very good season. There's nothing for you to be disappointed as a lot of real life drivers say, if you make it into the final four, it's kind of like winning the championship because it all goes out the window for the final race. It's anybody's game. So I hope you realize just how impressive your rookie run was, and as a driver that's raced in elite, you definitely turned a lot of heads, and I'm sure you've gotten a lot of people messaging you to join teams in the future. As I'm sure if you haven't gotten them, you're going to be getting a lot of them. I promise you. But other than that, we want to let you do your thank yous and your shout outs. And again, congratulations for at least being in the final race of the season, running for a championship, and coming home second tonight.
Yeah, I just gotta thank everybody that helps run the league, keeps it going every week. Y'all for the broadcast, and then just the people that were in Discord with me watching the race.
Well, you had some people pulling for you. You definitely had some people in the chat pulling for you. So absolutely, again, Timothy Holmes, I hope to see you in some more races. If you do trucks again, I look forward to broadcasting you some more because honestly, you put a lot of excitement out there, and I can't tell you how difficult it is to keep up with Tate Lightle on long runs, and you gave it a heck of a run. I don't think Tate Lightle expected to have that big of a battle near the end. So congratulations for showing up tonight and giving it your all.
Thank you.
That was Timothy Holmes, our second place driver in the race, as well as our second place driver of the night. But here is the man of the night. Maybe not completely finished with being the man of the week. He has another race later on the season, as we've talked to him before, where he's going to be trying to go for another championship. But what he's done tonight is the first time in Elite Series history, and that is win an Elite Championship in all three of its series, the Trucks, the Xfinity, and Cup. Tate Lightle, the man known for long runs, had a 50-lap run go his way. A bump and a run got him to the front, and he is tonight's winner and tonight's championship. Tate Lightle, just give us a big broad of emotion and tell us exactly what happened, and tell us how tonight feels knowing that you've done something that no one else has done.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It was quite the duel there between me and Timmy. He kind of ran me up the track and doored me there to get the lead, and then when I got back to him, I stuck my nose in there, and at that point wasn't really going to take no for an answer, so left it there. He chopped down a little bit. I don't know what he said about it, but got him up the hill and just tried to pace myself a little bit there after that just to save some tire, and he kind of found something there on the top with about 15 to go, but we were able to respond and had just enough there to hold him off. But yeah, pretty cool to put Days Gone By in championship victory lane for the third 3 in a row. Put him in victory lane in Xfinity and Cup last season, and then Trucks this season. So, and he sponsors the championship week as a whole. So it means a lot to put him in victory lane. I know Brent, he's probably in Nashville spotting for Kyle Larson or somebody. Who knows? He's spotting for everybody. So shout out to him if he ever watches this. But yeah, crazy race. Kind of got disconnected with my teammates there on that first pit stop. And they got wrecked out there when Crump got wrecked. And it was kind of just on my own after that. Timmy was able to get around us there. In 3 and 4, or I guess 1 and 2 now, and yeah, after there's a little contact there, it was game on. So just super pumped, man. It's pretty crazy to think that three championship races ago I had 0 championships in Elite, and now I first one in Elite to get all 3 NASCAR championships. So pretty darn cool, man.
Well, you definitely showed just how strong of a competitor you are. You've been in this position, being a final driver. I would have to guess probably more than anybody at this point. You've won some, you've lost some, but overall you've now started winning a lot of them. And eventually you're going to put a target on your back there, Tate, if you haven't already. As we saw there, I mean, a lot of hard racing, but overall clean racing too. We didn't see any of the competitors tried to physically take someone out, it was bumping and running. But when it came down to it, since that was a run to the end, that was the run for the championship. So as a fan and as a person watching it, we loved it. We loved every second of it as you two gave it absolutely everything you could. We even saw you hit the wall a couple times the last few runs there, just trying to have the speed to stay in front of Timothy Holmes. But what was going on there? Why were you hitting the wall near the end there? Just trying to add more excitement?
Must have been netcode. I never hit the wall. I got close a couple times. I think I don't know. Maybe I did skim it a few times, but maybe that little iRacing netcode buffer gave it a little bit more of a spark than there was. But I saw him hit the wall a couple times in my mirror, and I there was one or two times there off of 2 that we got pretty close to it, but nothing that hurt the truck or lost us any ground. So I mean, we were driving everything we had. He was shifting, I wasn't, and it was just kind of a battle to see which one of those two strategies was going to pay off best. And I think I had just enough tire that I was able to hold him off.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to let you do your shout outs and your thank yous. Tonight is an amazing night, but you have in just a few nights. You have to go for it again. I'm sure this victory boosts your confidence a little bit, knowing that you've already done it now. There's nothing to lose. You got at least a championship this week, so it gives you a little bit of a confident feeling going into the next one, even if it's not a track you feel comfortable at. At least you got a championship somewhere, huh? So we want to let you do your shout outs here, and thank you for showing up for the Elite Truck Series. But you can't do it again now that you're a truck champion.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Sunday nights suck anyway. But I got to shout out JD Designs. He's got all of Pro Edge and Fueled Up looking pretty spicy out there on track. I've kind of fallen in love with this paint scheme that I've been running the last couple seasons, and I've had to put on just about every car I run. So a shout out to him. Obviously, Days Gone By, Vintage Racing Apparel. Check out his Twitter. He's got an Etsy link in his Twitter. Lots of cool vintage racing clothing, hats, die casts. I mean, silverware. I mean, you name it. He's got it posted on there. And yeah, hopefully we can go to Iowa in 2 nights. Iowa's probably my worst oval, maybe even my worst track. I feel the least comfortable there. But with these championship races, you never know. Definitely a little less confident going into there as I was tonight, just because of how much I love Phoenix. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. I mean, we still finished 3rd or 4th there in Xfinity the other night, and didn't really feel like we had a whole lot going for us. So I think we got just as good a chance as anybody. Got to put ourselves in position. We just got to try and be there at the end and have a chance. I mean, if you get wrecked out on lap 20, then it's all for nothing. So, well, that's kind of the box that we're put in with these, Championship 4 and Championship 5 formats, that you gotta work with what you got in those races. And last year at Homestead, we were kind of able to. We had a little early trouble, and we were able to, come back, finish 3rd or 4th, and win the championship. So hopefully we can do it again. Hopefully I can help my Pro Edge teammates tomorrow night get a win in the championship, and then try and make it a Pro Edge sweep on Wednesday for them.
Look forward to seeing that, Tate. Again, just good season overall. You came home tonight's victor, 3 victories this season, and he did it at the most important time as well here at Phoenix. Overall, Tate, you can hang up your hat. You did everything you had to do tonight, and you definitely showed how strong it is to be a top competitor in Elite. So, once again, that was Tate Lightle, our championship winner. You might not be done hearing him. He's going to be going for it again on Friday. I'm sure.
Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday. Why did I say Friday? Wednesday.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I figured you knew what he was doing Friday and just.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing Friday. I'll invite you, though, if you want to come.
From what Chad Frankenfield says is that you haven't completed any trifecta or any kind of grouping of championships until you get IndyCar done. So you have to go now do an IndyCar championship.
Guys like Van de Sant,
Hey, Van de Sant doesn't complain when he comes over to circle track, so.
Yeah, IndyCar is probably a no go.
Okay.
And Friday night, dude. Who wants to be on a computer on a Friday night, like for real? So
All
yeah,
the
that's
people
probably
who
a
watch
no-go.
our IndyCar racing on Friday night.
There
I
you
guess
go.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try and keep adding to the total here in the NASCAR stuff, but
Okay.
yeah, fat chance with the IndyCar and Formula One stuff. There's I could probably get 4th or 5th in a race, but getting a championship, I don't think so.
Wow. Well, he might not be done getting championships for sure in the elite NASCAR series, but that's Tate Lightle, everybody. We'd like to thank him for joining us again here and coming home a champion once again. I gotta say, Dave, man, this season I didn't know what to expect, but these drivers were driving so hard every single race that for it to come down to the championship drivers bumping off each other to get the victory on a long run and then still within a second difference from each other, racing hard, battling through traffic and everything. I mean, I can't be more satisfied with that. That's exactly what you would want from a championship race, is just that type of hard mentality of just trying to be the best. And that's what we saw tonight. Drivers trying to be the very best and racing against each other as hard as they did. Uh, I don't know, Dave. I hope next season can live up to this season, because this was one of the best racing series seasons that I've watched personally.
I enjoy seeing how many people get better as the year goes on. I mean, they start out rough and they're talking about, oh, I hope I can just stay out of the way for 5 or 10 laps, and by race 12 or 13, they're up there in the top 10, and who knows, these could be the names that we're calling out in the next few years. Somebody like Zach Evans, who, Zach finishing 8th tonight, but being right up there close all year long. He's just really making good progress and getting better at his craft every time he comes out.
You say Zach Evans, but Ray Bracey, he finished 10th.
Yeah.
I think that's his first top 10 of the season. So, yeah, Ray Bracey out here getting a top 10 tonight, and he was strong for a majority of that race. We talked about him. So, very good point there, David. We got to see a lot of drivers starting to build up their craft in their confidence in iRacing, and that's what this series is about. It's a build-up series to get you into the rest of Elite. You start off here, and I gotta say, a lot of rookie drivers showed promise and showed that they're gearing to go for the bigger things that we've seen. So we may lose a few drivers, but I guarantee you we're gaining a lot of drivers next season. If anyone watched the broadcasting here, it's opened up for August. It starts up back in August, and if you're looking to want to do iRacing, and there's no better place to get a start and a foot through the door to know how it feels to kind of race what it would feel like professionally than with the Elite Truck Series. So definitely put your application in before it all fills up, because by Daytona time in August, there will be probably 60 or more trucks entered for that race, and we'll have to qualify it down, I'm sure. So definitely try to get in before it starts to clog up and they put a lock on the door, so and to stop all the ones trying to get in. So put your entry now with Chad and all those all the admins there for the Elite Truck Series, and get it going. But other than that, David, Erica, I thank you both. This has been a fun Sunday night watching this, and I gotta say, I don't think I want to do it with anyone but my lovely wife and lovely David doing the broadcasting.
That's twice you've called me lovely tonight, man. We got to get that word out of your mouth.
No, I said it. I meant it on that one, though, David.
I know. You do call me lovely.
But, okay, well, whatever you want.
We need a new adjective. We'll work on it in the off season.
I just learned Sean Ryan's name, so maybe we can work on bigger words as we go along. We'll have like a schooling session before we go racing. But
wish I knew what the story was with Sean. We'll have to figure it out in the off season.
We'll have to figure it out in the off season. We'll have to get him back in it again. But it's again, thank you from Gerald Campbell, Dr. Erica Campbell, my colorful commentary, and the producer that's brought you these wonderful shots all through the year and tonight's race, David Huckleberry. We hope to see you again in August when we start it all over again at Daytona, and we'll see a new host of figures try to make a point. Maybe some drivers with a chip on their shoulder, or maybe with something to prove from last season or this season, try to prove themselves again in August. Hopefully you join us and we get to relive it all and have more fun together on Sunday nights. Thank you so very much. Thank you to Days Gone By Vintage Apparel. Thank you, Elite Broadcasting Network here. And thank you, David. Thank you, audience. And